Hey everyone, Nancy Morris again with another episode of the Morris Code. Today we're going to be talking about goal setting on this Facebook Live. I'm live on Monday, March 19th. I keep looking down at the date, so I keep forgetting what day it is. I think I'm still recovering from the change of clocks last week. So goal setting. Why do I want to talk about goal setting? Most people think they know how to set goals, and they may have some strategies, but this isn't about goal setting. You know, you don't achieve success through goal setting. You actually achieve it through goal getting. And some of the systems that are out there for goal setting don't actually work all that well because they don't help you take the next steps. They don't keep you motivated. So that's what I want to talk about today. How do you set up your goals so that you're more likely to achieve them? So that you're more likely to maintain momentum on them, so that you're more likely to choose to take the actions to help you achieve your goals. So if you, by the way, at any point, if you have a question, if you want to chime in, please do, because I do these much better when there's some interaction going on for sure. So please let me know you're here, or let me know if you have a question or concern. So what are goals? What are the normal goals people set? And I'm going to talk about mostly business goals, but some of the personal goals that people set are things like, I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 3 months, or I want to make $100,000, or, well, that's a work one, but it's also a home one. Or I want to get the house renos done by the end of the month. So those are the sort of personal goals that we have, or I want to meet somebody and start a new relationship. These are sorts of goals that we set for themselves. And then the work goals tend to be things like, I want 5 new clients this month. I want to make $100,000. I want my team to get the proposal done, and sent out by the end of the week. These are the sorts of things that people define as their goals. But I've got a question for you. So think about 10 goals that you've set yourself recently, sort of like in the last few months. Now see if you can get them in your mind. I do a lot of presentations, so I tend to give a couple of minutes, but I won't do that now. But think about the last 10 goals. Even think about the last 5 goals you set for yourself, work or personal. I don't really mind. It doesn't matter. Of those 5 or 10 goals, however many goals that you set, how many of them did you achieve? How many of those goals did you achieve in the time frame that you set for yourself? That's a really important part about this, because the research into goal setting theory and research into productivity and even high performance individuals tends to show that most people might achieve, say, out of 10 goals, maybe 4, 5, or 6 of them. 4, 5, or 6 goals out of 10 is not really very good. And it's not very good for one's psyche, what you feel about yourself. In psychology, one of the things that we call that is self-efficacy, whether or not you believe you will achieve the goals that you set for yourself. So if you're only achieving 40 to 60% of the goals that you set for yourself, it's unlikely that your self-efficacy is very high. And sometimes the noise in your back of your head when you're writing out, oh yeah, my goal is to 5 new clients this month. That the little voice, the not so nice one that says, yeah, sure, 5 new. Yeah, look at what you did last month. You only got 3. So, it sparks that kind of conversation going on in your head. And that happens when you're not setting goals well, or you're not setting the right kind of goals. So in the next couple of minutes, I want to show you exactly how to set those goals so that no matter what happens, you're not going to hear that voice in the same sort of way. You may not hear that voice at all. And when you set goals, you'll feel very confident. So let's go back to those goals I said that people have. I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 3 months. I want to get 5 new clients this month. I want to make sure the house renos are done by the end of the month. I want to make sure that the team gets the proposal done. People call those things goals. They're not goals. They're not goals at all. If you're still identifying that sort of stuff as goals, that's part of the problem. So stop calling those things a goal. Those are what we call desired outcomes. Those are the things that you want to have happen. You want 5 new clients. You want to make 100 grand. You might want to lose 30 pounds, but you can't control them. And that's the key issue. If you cannot control the completion of that goal, then it's not a goal at all. It is a desired outcome. It's something you want, but you can't guarantee it. You can't control whether or not it happens. So what do you do then? Okay, you still might want to lose 30 pounds. You still might want that $100,000. So what do? You convert what you're talking about into what we call performance goals. We in psychology call performance goals. Those are the actions that you can take that are entirely within your control. So let's look at the notion of $100,000. No, let's look at the notion of 5 new clients. So I have a desired outcome of 5 new clients, both corporate and individual, every month. That's my desired outcome. That's what I would like in my business. And I have the number up on my wall, a nice big 5. But I don't focus on that number because that's my desired outcome that I can't control, because I need to rely on other people's decisions. I can't control other people's decisions. I might be able to influence them a little bit. I might be able to put a nice marketing spin on something, or I might be able to inspire them with what it is that they can achieve when they work with me. But I cannot guarantee that everybody I talk to is going to hire me. If I could, that would be lovely, but I can't. So I do have that number up there. So let's look at that. 5 new clients is the desired outcome. It's the thing that I want. So what are the actions that I can take that are entirely within my control? Well, I could make 5 cold calls every morning. I could send out 20 video emails to my prospects every week. I can attend 10 networking events every month. I can do those things. Those things are within my control. I can make those things happen. All of those things will make it more likely that I'll get the 5 new clients, but it doesn't guarantee that I'll get the 5 new clients. I can't control that. What I can control is picking up the phone, sending emails, going to networking events, reaching my hand out to people and having a conversation. Well, I can't even guarantee the conversation. Maybe they'll see me coming and go, no, don't want to talk to her. But I can at least attend the events, making it more likely that I'll get those 5 clients. Because if I say to myself, my goal is those 5 clients and I only get 3, then in my head somewhere there's likely to be that notion of failure. Whereas if my performance goal is to go to 10 networking events every month, and I go to those 10 networking events, and within those networking events I approach 5 people, then it's more likely I'm going to get those 5 new clients. But even if I don't, if I've gone to those networking events, if I've reached my hand out, then I know I've achieved my goal, my performance goal, because it was within my control. This is the thing that is so important. If people lack confidence about achieving their goals, it's because they're actually focusing on stuff they can't control. They're focusing on things that they cannot actually make happen. Whereas if you simply take the notion of, say, clients, that's your desired outcome, that's the thing that you want, and language that differently to the actions that are within your control that you can take, then you can achieve those goals 100% of the time. Now, if I don't go to the 10 networking events in the month, I have to be honest and say, well, why didn't I go? Was there a fear, or, did the car break down and I couldn't get it fixed, or something along those lines, so that I can make changes and do it again another time. Because when you're focused on the stuff that you can control, your performance goals, you actually end up developing systems to make sure that they happen. Because the actuality of even a performance goal is that if you were already doing it, you wouldn't set it as a new performance goal. So the real goals are the new choices and decisions you need to make in order to get to those 10 networking events, for example. Those are the things that you have to focus on. The new choices and decisions. Maybe those networking events mean you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Maybe they stretch you out of your comfort zone a little bit because you don't like networking, for example. Those are the real things that create goals for you. And that's my phone ringing. I thought I turned it down. There we go. Hopefully that's off now. Anyway, so again, what I'm talking about here is that real performance goals, tangible things that are entirely within your control, need to be your focus. As you achieve those 90%, 100% of the time, you will have developed the systems to make sure they happen over and over and over again. If you're not achieving those performance goals, like going to networking events, like approaching 5 people, like making cold calls, like sending out follow-up emails to prospect, prospects. If you're not doing that, then you have to figure out why you're not doing that. And even in that, you're able to increase your self-awareness. You're able to figure out what your blocks are and create the systems to move the blocks out of the way or to take a different approach. Whereas if you're only focused on things that you can't control, the desired outcomes, the things that you want, if you only focus on those, you're basically handing over your success to people that you can't control, to things that you can't control. So you're measuring your own success by handing it over to other people. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Makes no sense. But that's what happens to people when they set goals like, I want to make $100,000, I want 5 new clients, or even I want to lose 30 pounds, because you can't control your metabolism. You might think that you can, but you actually can't. This is why, for example, after 3 months, when somebody loses 25 pounds and they set their goal at 30, they feel like a failure because they didn't get that last 5 pounds. Well, what if you actually change that, lose 30 pounds, to go to the gym 3 times a week and have a workout? You go to the gym 3 times a week and you have a workout. At the end of 3 months, you've lost 25 pounds, but you've been to the gym 3 times a week, every week. You made the choices and decisions to get yourself there. You've achieved your goal. Now, you may say to yourself, okay, I've got another 5 pounds I want to lose. What's the performance goal? Maybe the performance goal is you don't celebrate with a piece of cake on the way home from the gym 3 times a week. But you see what I mean? You can set a new performance goal. Maybe for the next month, you go to the gym 4 times a week. That's your performance goal. It makes the desired outcome more likely to happen, but you can achieve your goals 100% of the time. And that's the most important thing for increasing confidence. People have often asked me, how do I increase my confidence? And so I ask them, how many goals do you achieve? And as the stats show, they'll say, oh, maybe 50% of them, something like that. I'm achieving 50% of them. That is why they don't have the confidence, because they're only achieving 50% of the goals. So I explain to them about desired outcome versus performance goal. And I encourage them to shift their desired outcomes and to shift their focus and attention to their performance goals, the things that they can control. And in a very few short weeks, even sometimes shorter than that, people begin to say to me, wow, I feel so much more confident. I'm getting things done. I'm not delaying. I'm motivated. I want to do stuff, because your brain knows what is and isn't in your control. And, it just makes it more likely that you're going to just get up in the morning and say, wow, I get to do these things today and they're in my control and I'm going to go have some fun. And I'm creating systems so that I can do this over and over and over again and achieve the success I want. This is why it's so important. This is even better than SMART goals. You remember SMART goals, the specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound? I think that's what it stands for. Those are great. But again, people still put, I want to earn $100,000 in the next 6 months. Okay, but you can't control that $100,000. So you're still kind of screwed. You're still beating up, pushing a rock up a hill, or whatever the saying is. It's keep things within your control, and then you're more likely to achieve the goals you set for yourself and to build your confidence at the same time. Because no matter what happens, whether you get those 5 clients or not, you will every day be building your confidence, as opposed to waiting for 3 months to see whether or not or to the end of the month to see whether or not you get those clients, or 3 months to see whether or not you lose that weight. Every single day that you make the choices and decisions you need to go to the networking events, to make those cold calls, to send out those emails, every single day, you'll be building your confidence. You'll be building that sense of self of, I can do this, I'm doing this. You'll keep your motivation up. So as always, I'm going to wrap up now, but as always, if anybody has a question, I use the questions that I get on LinkedIn, Facebook, and the other places that I post these videos for my Thursday Dear Nancy videos. So please do send me a message either that way or through email, Nancy@NancyMorris.com. By the way, I talk more about performance goals in my book, procrastinate now, rethinking time management. It's part of the Morris Code, the idea of performance goals. The Morris Code is all about building confidence so that you can reduce any doubts that you have when you're moving things forward. And focusing on performance goals is explained a little bit more in that book. It is the focus of my next book too, which will be about performance goals and about the things that I've just talked to you about just now. Go back now today. So a takeaway action for you is to go to your goals, not your daily tasks, but your goal list, and look at it and say, okay, is this entirely within my control? Does it have, is it possibly impacted by the decision making of anybody else at all? Even if it's your spouse or, you know, people at home, all that sort of stuff. Is this impacted at all by the decisions of other people? If it is, it's not a goal, it's a desired outcome. So you can change that, what you've written down, from a desired outcome to a performance goal by making sure it stays within your control. That includes also like universal things like metabolism and stuff like that that you can't control. So anything related to health stuff, you can't control it. So set performance goals that are within your control. Remember, the most important thing to achieving success is to build confidence, keep momentum going, and recognize and remember that goals come from the choices and decisions that you have to make. So focusing on performance goals will help your brain to focus on those choices and decisions. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of the day. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.